People with the last name Pepper who have doctorate degrees, what is your experience introducing yourself to people and do you wish you could change your name? Fun fact, Dr. Pepper was sued in the 1950s by a Dr. Clark Pepper, a proctologist from Houston, in an attempt to get them to change their name. His argument was that consumers would assume that he personally endorsed the beverage. The suit was not successful. Owing to the rules of social decorum at the time, Dr. Clark Pepper was never referred to in court as a proctologist, and instead euphemistically called a specialist in internal matters. Edit, wow, you're all disgusting. Secretary of the Interior. Director of the Posterior. Boss of the brown sauce. Number 1 of the bum. Saint of the taint. Judge of the fudge. King of the brown ring. My wife's professor's last name was Nurse. She had a PhD. She was Dr. Nurse. No kidding. My brother used to be in the Air Cadets, where there was someone called Corporal Sergeant. They then got promoted to Sergeant Sergeant. I knew a sergeant in the Air Force named Major. He was Master Sergeant Major. Haha. I knew a guy in the Army with that same last name, who got passed over for promotion because it would have made him Sergeant Major. Y'all really know these people or making Catch-22 references? Guy I went to Navy boot camp with was named Stain. Seaman Stain. There was a female sailor named Seaman Guzzler. I was a cook and there was another cook on my ship with the last name Cook and another with the last name Kinchin. Everybody called him Kitchen. When I asked Cook about it he said I thought being a cook named Cook would be funny, but I guess the joke's on me because I've been doing a job I hate for 12 years. The only thing that may be worse is being Dr. Payne. The name of my dentist as a child. Our dentist was Dr. Bond. And while it didn't sound cool initially, he did get to say he had a license to drill. Bet his wife is sick of hearing him say that. No, that's why she married him. Not an issue. I didn't spend 8 years in medical school to be called Mr. Pepper. I feel like I might spend 8 years in medical school specifically to be called Dr. Pepper. Only to realize I made a terrible mistake. The trick is get a doctorate in something non-medical. Dr. Moniker but no need for medical stuff. The trick is to change your name to Doctor, no need to go to med school, just change it on paper. Mr. Doctor, Mr. Doctor? It's strange, yeah, but who am I to judge? I'm Peter, by the way, Dr. Strange. Oh, we're using our made-up names. I'm Spider-Man then. Dude, I always love how unintentionally savage Peter sounds during that line. We have a cardiologist named Dr. Hamburger at my hospital. It makes me internally giggle each time he introduces himself to patients. Not on the same level, but the McDonald's franchises in my hometown were owned by Joe Burger and his family, the Burger family. Teddy, my last name isn't Burger. Wait. Do you think my name is Bob Burger because the sign outside says Bob's Burgers? My God, I love this show. Picked up a few lines from Gene, come on in. The water's wet. Before he died, my wife's gynecologist's name was Dr. Finger. True story. What was his name after he died? Dr. Fingered. There's a guy with the surname of Doom who got his doctorate degree, I forget in what, just so people would have to call him Dr. Doom. Edit, found him. Dr. Travis Doom, engineering professor at Wright State University. Edit number 2, holy crap, this blew up. Also, as some have said, Dr. Doom obviously didn't go through the hell that is getting a doctorate just for the name. I played that up for the joke. But it's still a little funny that he's so well known. Dr. Doom is an incredible, caring, understanding, and absolutely hilarious professor. This is both really sweet and hilarious. Sounds like Latvian propaganda. There is nothing wrong going on in Latvia right now, how was that? Blocks curse Reed Richards monument. Luckily my last name is Pibb, so I don't feel any pressure to be an overachiever. Yeah, but you can be a little extra at times. I've never met a Dr. Pepper, but I do have a doctor. I wonder how often people ask them to give them the news. Excuse me? I've got a bad case of something here. It's just a cold. Go home. I had a therapist with the last name Looney. I thought it was hilarious. Then she got married to a Mr. Ward. She did not hyphenate, much to my disappointment. She really missed a great chance there. Lol. Edit. Thanks for all the awards, kind strangers. Probably realized they were saving themselves a lifetime of id checks. Had a friend in the army who delighted when he became Sergeant Pepper. My uncle had a friend in the army whose last name was Dick. From Private Dick all the way to Major Dick, that guy was not having a good time. Colonel Dick probably wasn't much better. Maybe he was just a General Dick though. I used to have a doctor house as a dentist. Good thing you didn't have lupus. It's never lupus. But it could be sarcoidosis. Or amyloidosis. It was lupus. 7-hour-old post and I missed my opportunity. It's okay. Both my grandparents were Dr. Pepper. I don't even know where to put my comment. I love this, I'm so here for this. Unrelated, my psychiatrist's name is Dr. Brain. Pinky, are you thinking what I'm thinking? I think so, Brain, but isn't the coconut thing dead already? There's always another use for a coconut, Pinky. On Married at First Sight, this version, the psychologist has Pepper as a first name and goes by Dr. Pepper. She could have gone by Dr. last name, but chose to go by Dr. Pepper, so one must assume she likes it. I absolutely love her name. Not only does she go by Dr. Pepper, but as a bonus her last name is Schwartz, which means black in German. She's both Dr. Pepper and Black Pepper. Not a Dr. Pepper, but my cousin earned her doctorate and uses her maiden name. She married a Doolittle. We see a pediatrician named Dr. Evil. Must be really difficult for the guy to get references from the internet. The urologist who did my vasectomy was named Richard Chop. Fun fact, I was his number 15,000. Did that come with a set of steak knives? He specifically told me he didn't bring confetti. But I did get an attractive female student on rotation who got to watch the thing and smell my vas getting cauterized. The three of us talked about various banal things as my manhood was being destroyed. Ducking surreal. A friend of mine had to pretend to like football while smelling his cauterization. He thought he was going to lay down and get put under general anesthesia. Instead, they started the operation and just started talking sports. So, speaking of balls, did you see the game last night? I've never met a Dr. Pepper, but we do have a gynecologist in my town called Dr. Poon. I saw a urologist named Dr. Richard Skinner. His friends call him Dr. Dick Skin. It's Dickens. I used to work with the young man whose last name was Pepper. The first time I met him, he told me his dream was to become a doctor so he could be addressed as Dr. Pepper. My friend Stephen got his molecular biology doctorate so that when someone is writing his name down and asks is that Stephen with a V or a PH, he can say actually it's Stephen with a PhD. He claims that's not the reason, but I don't believe him. Starbucks barista Stephen. Stephen. There is a doctor here literally named Dr. Bond. His first name is James. Dr. James Bond. I wish I was joking. Ian Fleming actually chose the name James Bond because it was so common and generic, and the intention was for the spy to be unremarkable. Bond is a very common English surname and, obviously, James is a common first name. Ironically, it's become far less common now because people with the surname Bond avoid naming their children James because of this, and the character has been around long enough that many James Bonds that predated have died.